This kind of beef dish sounds like it's one of those meals that's going to take forever to make. And honestly, it really doesn't. This version is quick, simple, and ridiculously good. Let us cook. I got some nice flank steak for this. You can use whatever you feel. Strip loin, a higher cut of meat, a lower cut of meat. I like flank for this one. It's a cheaper cut. We're frying the beef anyway, so it's going to become tender regardless, and we're going to velvet the meat as well. This is a very Asian-inspired dish. Yes, I'm Italian, and I honestly do cook a lot of Asian food because it's fast, it's quick, it's easy, it's cheap, and it honestly hits all the notes of umami. I'm excited to cook this one today. Just gonna get this open, put that right on the board. Pat this dry. I'm just gonna slice this down the middle because I want smaller pieces. And with flank or skirt, you definitely want to cut against the grain so you can see here that the tendons and the tissues are running this way. So when I slice it, I'm gonna slice against it, and I'm just gonna go smallish little pieces here. Let's say 1/4 inch thickness. So I want all these pieces to be as close to uniform in length as possible because that'll ensure they all cook the same. Let's get that meat in the bowl. We're gonna velvet the meat. It's just gonna beef it up a little bit. Everybody's gonna do it differently. This is just my version. I do Shaoxing wine. Shaoxing wine, which is basically just like a Chinese cooking wine. Is it? Beijing's in China, is it not? I'm terrible at geography.
Isn't it the capital?
Beijing. It's the capital of China. Really bad at geography. Amazing at cooking food. I'm gonna do about another tablespoon of some soy sauce. I've seen people velvet with like egg whites, but this one I find is just simpler. So I'll do like 2 tablespoons of cornstarch just to get that going. I'm gonna do a little bit of white pepper. This stuff is powerful too. I would use that sparingly, maybe like 1/4 of a teaspoon, 1/2 teaspoon. You can use black pepper, you can use Szechuan. That's kind of nice. Baking soda. I use like a cornstarch baking soda combo to velvet, just like 1/4 of a teaspoon. And you're just gonna mix this up together. Ideally, you wanna do this and let it sit in the fridge for a couple hours. What I'll typically do if I know I'm making a dish like this where I'm velveting the meat, I'll do this in the morning before I leave for work, and then when I come back at night for dinner, it'll be ready to go. So I'll just put some plastic wrap, put it in the fridge. But for the purpose of this video, I'll let it sit for like 10-15 minutes. Should be enough time to kind of get it to where we want it to be. Perfect. While we're waiting for that, we can prep our other ingredients, our aromatics. 1 medium onion, 1 red bell pepper, a couple sprigs of some green onion. I got 4. And green onion's probably not traditional in this. I think the more traditional method is just like a white onion, or in my case, this is a yellow onion and some red pepper, but I just like this. I like using fresh scallion or green onion. Helps give it some body too in an inexpensive way. Anytime you can like, you know, beef up a meat dish with some fresh veg, I think it's great. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these into kind of longer pieces, just the white part, and then I'm gonna use these grains for my garnish for after. And I'm just gonna slice like long ways, get these into an ice bath. What this is gonna do is gonna kind of take that harsh kind of oniony flavor off of it and also curl them up and crisp them up. And they're gonna be a nice addition to the top of this dish. And this is typical in Asian cooking. You wanna kind of mise en place everything. Mise en place basically just means like having all your ingredients ready to go into the pan because everything kind of happens quick. Once we have this all ready, the actual cooking of the dish happens pretty quickly. Straight down the middle, and I'll kind of cut them like that. I'll do the same for the pepper. I like to turn the pepper and kind of do like these oblique cuts, and then also keeps it the same size as the onion as well, because we want those to kind of cook similar. If you haven't guessed it by now, I'm terrible at saying words. So we got our onions, we got our red peppers, we got our beef, we got our green onions. I want some garlic in this. We want a good amount. I love garlic. That's quite a bit. Yeah. Let's say, what's that? 6, 7? No, I can't do that. Do not put that in there. 6 to 7 to 8 cloves of garlic. Ginger. Peeling ginger, yes, you can use a spoon. Super easy. I don't like doing it this way, but for the average home cook, that's the easiest way. I like to just like square it off. Yeah, you have a little bit more waste, but it doesn't like bruise the ginger like you see here. Just gonna take like a good knob of ginger, like a 2-inch piece within little slices, and then I'll come back over those julienne pieces. Some garlic, we're just gonna smash, 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 smash. I want this fine. Yeah, with a fine mince on it. We're gonna make the sauce. That's like the last bit. Let's get ourselves a bowl. Yes, ketchup. Ketchup is used in a lot of Asian cooking, believe it or not. Tomatoey, fermented, sweetness, ketchup, soy. You can use sriracha. I have this homemade pepper paste that I make. Dynamite stuff. Kind of like my version of a chili oil, like a Korean version with gochugaru, a lot of fresh ginger, a lot of fresh garlic. You can omit this if you don't want it spicy. You can use sriracha. You can use sambal. My videos are just a guideline. You don't have to do exactly what I'm I'm doing here. That's the beauty about cooking. I'm trying to show you the foundations of how we do it and why we do it. But honestly, it's just about getting in there, making something fresh. It's honestly like equal parts. That's what I do. So it's about 2 tablespoons of ketchup. This is oyster sauce. You can use like hoisin, very similar, 2 tablespoons. You don't really want to omit this though, because that's what's going to kind of give you that umami flavor bomb. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. We need vinegar. You can use apple cider. You can use white distilled. I like rice vinegar in this one. Just comes down to personal preference. 2 tablespoons sugar. Some of this pepper paste. Again, you can use sriracha or sambal. You obviously don't want to use 2 tablespoons of sriracha in this. Start with half a teaspoon and taste the sauce and then just kind of go from there. For me, maybe like 2 teaspoons and I'll give that a good mix. Always taste. Perfect. The right amount of sweetness, the right amount of acidity. So much flavor in that. Like that just like kisses back here and I'm salivating. So we're gonna get a pan, high-sided pan works great. You got a wok at home with a gas burner, that works great. While that pan is preheating, I'm gonna grab some more cornstarch. See, now this meat is kind of, you know, it's velveted kind of nicely. It's kind of beefed up and bulked up in that 15 minutes or so. I'm just gonna do another 2 tablespoons. So you wanna be heavy and liberal on the cornstarch here because we're gonna use it to coat the meat into kind of like a batter. You wanna have kind of that battery-like consistency here. It's nice and hot. I'm gonna put enough avocado oil in to just coat the bottom. You essentially do want to shallow fry this meat. So I would say maybe like a 1/4 inch. I'm gonna get myself set up wire rack in a little pan. We don't want to crowd the pan. Can do this in batches if you need to, but this won't take long. Honestly, this meat will fry pretty decently quick. It's steak, you know, you want it to be not super well done. And then we're also gonna add it back too once we do our veggies and our sauce. See that like nice browning crust? 30 seconds onto a wire rack to drain off that excess oil. You don't gotta hit this with like salt or anything. Our sauce is pretty salty from the soy sauce. We also seasoned that meat with soy sauce prior when we were velveting, going with another batch. Please be careful when frying at home as well. It's dangerous stuff. We're out here, you know? We're doing this for you. Look at that. Now we're moving. Come on. That was seconds. And then when I'm making this too, when I'm batching this, I just like to sit here and just eat it. I can't not eat this when I'm cooking it and it's just staring at me in the face. Oh, like Scooby snacks. I'm gonna bring the heat down. I'm gonna get rid of some of this oil. Not all of it, but I still got some oil in there, maybe like a tablespoon I left. And we're just gonna let that oil heat up a little bit more. So I wanna go in with the garlic and ginger first. And again, this is all gonna happen really, really quickly. So we just wanna cook this garlic and this ginger until it becomes fragrant. Again, you don't wanna run the risk of this burning, just till it becomes a little bit browned, starts filling the air with that garlic and ginger smell. And you know you're ready to go in with the rest of the stuff. I just go in with everything all at once. And I'll just incorporate it with that ginger and garlic. Once I get that incorporated and mixed, I'm gonna let it sit there. What that's gonna do is it's gonna allow the vegetables to adhere to the pan, get a nice blackened kind of crust on it, because you really want like a hard sear on these vegetables. Very popular in Asian cuisine. We're not like salting it. Because I'm not using salt here and we're just using the heat of the pan and not touching it, I'm gonna get a nice black crust on these, which is exactly what we want in a dish like this. Because our meat is so tender and velvety, and then the sauce is gonna add that umami bomb. You're gonna hit all the notes. I'll give it another quick toss, just so I'm moving around that garlic and that ginger. Again, I'll let that sit. All right, we're good. We'll go back in with our meat. I'm also gonna take those beef trippings too. I want that. That's flavor. Let's incorporate that. Now here, you wanna kill the heat. We're gonna add our sauce in. If you follow my ratios, the sauce should be thick enough where you don't need to cook it down too much. The residual heat in that pan should just kind of warm that sauce through. We'll coat this meat and this veg. If you do want a thicker sauce, yeah, you can absolutely add like cornstarch water, like a slurry to make it a little bit thicker, but honestly, like this is perfect. That is ready. You can serve this over rice or quinoa or like a noodle, whatever you like, honestly. For the purpose of this video, I'm just showing you how to make the main dish. Ooh, one of my favorite dishes. It's quick, it's easy. See those? They've kind of like curled up and crisped up nicely, just being in that water. So what I'll do is I'll just maybe take a good handful of this. You can strain these off in a mesh strainer right on top like that. Little sesame seeds, add something nice too. I'm so excited to eat this one, I can't wait. Yeah, this is wow. You know, there's just so many things going on in my mind right now. I absolutely love this dish. This is delicious. It's salty, it's sweet. It's got so much depth of flavor. The crunchy, like, you know, peppers and the onions with the beef. So tender. Honestly, you gotta make this one. It's so quick, it's so easy. I'm going to eat all of this. If you wanna see me cook the best pan-seared steak you will ever try, click this video. Like and subscribe. It goes a long way. Like and subscribe.